King Charles's visit to Canada was a show of weakness, not strength. This opinion piece from the Globe and Mail is probably the most honest reporting you're going to hear from the legacy media about the throne speech. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 54 of Jonny Says So. King Charles was in Ottawa today to deliver the throne speech, and it was just as uninspiring as it was expensive. It's pretty preposterous to think how much money we as taxpayers paid to have the King of England fly all the way over here just to read a bunch of Mark Carney talking points that we haven't heard 1,000 times already during the election cycle. It's also pretty hilarious that a common talking point we've all been hearing is that the King's visit and the throne speech is somehow symbolic of Canada's sovereignty. What a joke. I don't know about you guys, but when I think about Canadian sovereignty, the last thing that comes to my mind is the King of England. Now, when I say that the throne speech was little more than Mark Carney talking points, that's not just me saying that. Listen to this CBC reporter flat out admit it.
Rob Bruce, I'll get you in because once the MPs return to the House, we will go back to the House. So I want to get the conversation in while we can. What stood out for you? Because clearly there were comments of sovereignty, comments of an economic plan. What stood out for you in that speech?
Well, this is one of the rare times that a prime minister gets to put words in the mouth of a monarch.
A prime minister gets to put words in the mouth of a monarch. Okay. Keep going.
And so every word is going to be weighed, every syllable is going to be weighed, and the syllables and words I was looking for were referring to Donald Trump's designs on Canada. And so here's what jumped out at me.
I'll tell you what jumps out at me. How pathetic it is that Mark Carney has to have the King of England come here to fight his battles for him. And when I say battles, I mean pretend battles. Because we all know that the Liberal Party is loving every minute of this. They use this quote-unquote crisis to dupe gullible Canadians into voting for them. This is what happened. That's the truth.
All Canadians can give themselves far more than any foreign power or any continent can ever take away. That, I thought, was the clearest shot, the unmistakable message to Mr. Trump, scripted by the Prime Minister's office, which in essence said you can hobble our economy.
Scripted by the Prime Minister's office. And you know, that is a pretty weak message to Donald Trump. I don't even know if he's going to receive it or if he's going to care. Now, what I find far more interesting than the throne speech itself, which is not interesting, is the opposition leader's response to it. And surprisingly, Pierre Poilievre didn't even have the best one here. No, I gotta give it to the leader of the Bloc Québécois, Yves-François Blanchet. Listen to what he has to say. This is gold.
In the House for debate.
I'm sorry?
Do you support the New Democrats getting slots on committee or having time in the House of Commons for debate?
I will certainly not support any ideas such as the NPD having any seat in the committees, because it is our balance of power. I will protect it quite seriously. However,
now I gotta say, if there's one silver lining of this election, it is the NDP losing pretty much all of their power. They have been relegated to the backbench. Now, they have said that they were going to ask Mark Carney if, maybe some rules could be bent to allow them to have official party status, but it turns out that is not going to happen. So that's what the NDP gets for 2 years of propping up the Liberal Party. Absolutely nothing. Hope it was worth it, guys.
there might be conversation about the resources that might be devoted to them. It's not done with so much enthusiasm, but I believe that we have to say, okay, what is it you want? What's in it for the rest of us?
What kind of resources? Just to follow up, what kind of resources?
There's only one kind of resources which might be made available, money.
So to come back,
That's it.
sorry, sir, to come back to the throne speech, will you support it? And do you like what's in it, please?
I didn't see it in English, so I will indulge you. Okay, it is the most important initiative by a federal government towards centralization that I have seen or heard of. I do not believe it is ill-intended. I believe that Mr. Carney sees himself culturally as the CEO of Canada. And he will make decisions, and he will have his decisions being implemented by everybody. And he seems to see that Quebec and provinces are merely region offices. And I'm not.
What a great analogy that he draws there. Mark Carney sees himself as the CEO of Canada, and the provinces are regional offices. Yep, he's pretty much calling out Carney for being a globalist banker who has no business being in the position that he's in.
Mad at him now, and I intend not to be. It is the way it works where he comes from. This is not the way it works in this place, and it is not the way it works within this federation, as terrible as it might be for us. So my plan is to do what I promised to do during the campaign when we started going up again. We will meet next week. We will discuss in complete serenity, and I will try to find common grounds in order to work together, because the issue at the beginning of the campaign was the threat from Donald Trump. And in the speech, there's no such thing. It just vanished, disappeared.
Wow. He absolutely hit the nail on the head there as for the disappearing narrative of the 51st state rhetoric. And finally, we have this from Mark Nixon. King Charles' throne speech clipped, adding Mark Carney's campaign speeches. There is no denying the speeches are identical. Only thing missing is elbows up.
First-time home buyers, delivering savings of up to $50,000.
This can provide up to $50,000 in savings for families entering the housing market.
And it will lower the GST on homes between $1 million and $1.5 million.
The government will protect the programs that are already saving families thousands of dollars every year.
Childcare, continuing to support $10 a day childcare.
These include childcare. The government has recently expanded the Canadian Dental Care Plan.
Dental care, we're supporting that, and we'll continue to do so. In fact, we've enlarged it by another 5 million people.
The government's overarching goal, its core mission, is to build the strongest economy in the G7.
And to build the strongest economy in the G7.
That starts with creating one Canadian economy out of 13.
To have one Canadian economy instead of 13.
Internal barriers to trade and labour mobility cost Canada as much as $200 billion each year. The government will introduce legislation to remove all remaining federal barriers to internal trade and labour mobility by Canada Day.
Federal government to do its part by Canada Day. So free trade in Canada by Canada Day.
Numerous premiers.
And by the way, guys, it was just announced very recently that you're not actually going to see any results by Canada Day. You are just going to see the legislation put forward by Canada Day. And nothing is going to happen over the summer. This stuff is egregious. Let's keep playing.
Have already taken vital steps to break down provincial and territorial barriers to trade.
Within the first week as Prime Minister, I sat down with all the premiers of the provinces and territories, as well as the leaders of the Indigenous peoples. Got an agreement with all the provinces and territories, doesn't happen very often, got an agreement for them, to have one Canadian economy.
Together, We will build on that progress to deliver free trade across the nation. This is critical to unlocking Canada's full economic potential, but it's not enough.
To build Canada strong.
To build Canada strong.
Canada strong. He even has that in there. Oh my God, this is so blatant. I almost can't listen to any more of this. And besides being a colossal waste of time and taxpayer dollars, it turns out that most Canadians don't give a shit about this anyways. Check out this poll, guys. Royally indifferent. 83% of Canadians say they don't care that King Charles will deliver throne speech. I certainly don't care, at least. And I'm normally pretty obsessed with anything to do with politics. So much so that I've started my own YouTube channel about it. I tried my best. I listened to the entire thing, admittedly on fast forward, hoping that I could find something interesting or noteworthy to present to you guys. And I just couldn't really do it, besides the fact that it was a huge waste of my money and yours. And that's my show for tonight, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think the King of England coming over here to deliver our Prime Minister's talking points is a show of sovereignty or something else? Let me know what you think. And as always, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.